Two, the allergenic reactions. GMO can produce certain substances that may trigger allergic reactions, especially in sensitive people. So this is why we also see a number of people suffering from allergies, various type of allergies, especially food allergies. And it's partly because of these Frankenstein foods. Then there's the potential toxins. Some studies suggest that GMOs could have long-term health impacts as a result of potential toxins from these genetically modified organisms. I can go a little bit more detail in it, but not for this video. You can check out the africanbiomineralbalance.com if you want more information. Two, environmental issues. We're talking about loss of biodiversity. With hybrid and GMO crops, they are often used to replace indigenous varieties, reducing genetic diversity and making crops more vulnerable to pests and diseases. Also, soil depletion, monocropping, which is common with hybrid and GMO crops, deplete soil nutrients and lead to dependency on synthetic fertilizers. Pesticide resistance. Often they involve the overuse of pesticides and herbicides, which they note have led to resistant quote-unquote superweeds and quote-unquote pests requiring stronger chemicals. And that's the problem, because one of the things that is not being understood, whenever we throw something at Mother Nature, it ricochets. So what comes back could be good, what we term as good, or what we term as bad, depending on what we give. So if these plants are being sprayed with all these herbicides and pesticides and these weeds, nature will always try to combat that which is thrown at it. So yes, the weeds are going to develop resistance to these pesticides. The so-called pests, which are not pests, these are small organisms that have a natural role to play in nature. They are not pests. The ants have a role, the bugs have a role, and sometimes when you look and you go deep into looking at how they carry out their various roles to help to sustain life on this planet, even though we might look at them as insignificant. The environmental issue is critical. You see, because the natural plants in their natural indigenous environment, they are a base for other life forms. They are a base for other life forms, and therefore, when they are supplanted with unnatural species, then that creates an issue. Now look at the third factor, which is the economic and cultural impact. Now, when we look at the corporate control, because we have to look at corporate control because they're trying to push more GMO seeds. But GMO seeds are patented by large corporations, and there are a specific group of corporations. It's not a large number of corporations, right? So we see that a small group of people want to control the entire food supply of the world, and they want to supplant indigenous seeds with GMO and hybrid seeds. Now, these GMO seeds are patented by these large corporations, and once farmers are using these seeds, they become dependent on buying these seeds annually, right? Instead of saving and replanting, which they usually do with the natural seeds.